Hi, I'm John Robinson and welcome back to a lovely bit of kit. And today we're going to take another look at the 2023 Newark Vintage Tractor and Heritage Show. There's already a general walk around video from the show which I'll link to at the end of this video, but today I highlight some of the exhibits that caught my eye during the show. Among several anniversaries being celebrated at the show, including the 20th anniversary of the show itself, the 75th anniversary of the Series 1 Land Rover brought in several classic Land Rovers, including this, an 86-inch wheelbase example built in 1955 and dispatched to the Home Office store in Evesham in January 1956. It was converted to a 2.5 litre 200di engine at some point, and it's changed its registration a couple of times, but it has the look of a real workhorse to me. And it's always great to meet subscribers to the channel in real life, and in the tractor section I enjoyed meeting Jensen Skipper and seeing his Fordson N. This Fordson was used on a farm in Hickling in Norfolk during World War II and spent a great deal of time stored in a barn. After she was found, the Skipper family took her home, serviced her, and that's basically how she's been ever since. It even has the original fuel ration book with the tractor. It now spends its time at the family farm and attending shows alongside its stablemates, a Ferguson tractor and a Fordson Major. Yet it has a look of a piece of machinery that's ready to go out and work. One of the things I really look forward to at shows is the unique or the unusual, and Newark is great for this. Let's look at this fascinating bit of kit. It's a JF model MS5 combine. It's built in 1966 and commonly referred to as a wraparound. It attaches to the tractor and is driven from the tractor's PTO via a belt drive to the combine itself. They remove the need for a separate standalone combine and maximise the use of an existing tractor. Although it looked to me like it might be a bit of a nightmare to set up for each season, I did find a discussion online in which an owner said it could be attached in 15 minutes once the initial setup had been perfected. This particular machine spent its working life in Northern Ireland and came into its current ownership in 2023. That's a really interesting bit of kit. This Glasgow tractor, built by John Wallace and Sons, was another eye-catcher. These were built between 1919 and 1924, and at the time were the only tractors built in Scotland. The three-wheel layout was claimed to be more stable, and with drive to all three wheels it proved to be popular for farmers working in hill country or on waterlogged soils, including some exported to New Zealand. And alongside it was this rather more conventional Wallace 2030 from 1926. I always find these little market garden tractors interesting. This is a Martin Markham Colt from 1961, powered by a Kohler engine. Martin Markham Limited was based in Stamford in Lincolnshire, so not too far away from the show site. They offered two models, the Colt with a 7 horsepower engine and the 10 horsepower Colt Deluxe, with a front loader and a PTO that would work well for me in my home orchard, to be honest. Maybe it's another one to add to the wish list. And another small tractor to catch the eye was this 1960 Ica ES200 Puma, a 2-cylinder air-cooled diesel engine. This was an impressive restoration. It was undertaken by the 15-year-old son of the owner over a 10-month period, after being found in a barn where it had been stood for 20 years. My eyes were also drawn to the wishbone suspension on the front of this Ferguson Browns, a Type A Narrow. Spent its working life in Kent, was built in 1938. You can't find much information on the front suspension design, so if anyone has any information, then please pop it in the comments below. I'd love to know more. This 1951 Fergie stood out in its industrial livery of British Transport Docks Board, its sign written to represent Grimsby and Immingham docks specifically. Entered by Gary Crossland, he's interested in showing that not all tractors spend their life on farms. Although the docks board was not formed until 1960, Gary rightly points out that it would not be uncommon for a tractor to be kept in use for over 10 years. In fact, many are still in use today. I think this makes a great exhibit and represents the industrial use of tractors very well. And of course the show is not just about tractors, but all kinds of vintage and classic machinery. There was a great selection of road rollers, dumper trucks and so on display, as well as the lineup of trucks and commercials such as this 1951 SD. Manufactured by Shelvoke and Drury of Letchworth, they specialised in special purpose commercials. This example is obviously presented as a flatbed, but the company is particularly known for their bin lorries, although their range included cable drum carriers for the General Post Office, as well as vehicles and ground equipment built for the Royal Air Force. They also built single-decker buses for the Worthing Tramcars Company. It was also great to see some model engineering on display, and this little Titan really caught my eye. So all in all, it's another great show at Newark. Really looking forward to the 2024 show, and although I didn't make it as an exhibitor this year, I really hope to have something on display next. The date for your diary is the 9th and 10th of November, so perhaps see you then at the Newark Showground. Thanks again for watching. I'm grateful for the subscribes and always look forward to reading the comments. And hopefully I'll see you again in the next one.